Learning Services Innovation presents LSI on Learning.
First lesson, there are only two rules. Two rules. Got it? The implementation of a physical literacy philosophy, even I've found as a practitioner, has changed the way I view the learners. And what I mean by that is there was a time when I could go into nearly any physical education class, primary or secondary, around the developed world, and I'd see pretty much the same stuff. I'd see kids running laps of courts, kids doing stretches, playing very team games or some sort of individual sport, very skill, learn a skill, execute a drill, and then if you're really good at those things, then we might let you play a game, and only if there's time at the end. So that philosophy totally works against, or that approach or that pedagogy totally works against individualized learners. It also works against any sort of motivation that you would have towards teaching kids in that area. I'll give you an example. Literacy showed us this early on. So what literacy, there was a whole body of movement that said, what's the best approach to teach kids the skills of reading and writing? And there was a body of movement that said whole reading, right? You have to read. Don't worry about teaching kids phonics or sounding out letters or grammar or any of that stuff. That's all rubbish. What you need to do is you need to read to kids every day from a young age, and guess what? They'll pick it up. That was one body of thought. The other body of thought was no. Before they can read, they've got to be able to sound out letters, understand phonics, understand grammar, sentence structure, all that stuff. They've got to do this. The two factions existed apart. What did we find? It was both. Right? If you did one, you did no better than the other, and if you did one at the exclusion of other, the outcome was not great. So what you really want to do is say, well, what does these actually look together? And physical education tends to stick on the phonics side of the physical literacy, if you want to think of it that way. You've got to have skills, got to have drills, you've got to do all these things, and then you can read the book or play the game. There's the other people that we call the roll out the ball, right? I'm just going to let them play and they'll use some justification that, they're only going to learn through experience and play, and they negate, well, there's actually some serious learning. People are going to stall when they play the game. Yes, they're going to enjoy it. People like being read to. People like reading books. People like playing games. Great. But it's actually, if you're teaching a child to read and you're reading the book to them, what's this? And they stumble, there's an intervention there. Let's sound out the word. Let's, what word could sit in the sentence? What does the word look like? So we don't have, as a dominant discourse or a dominant pedagogy in physical education, is this notion about diagnosis. Yes, let's expose them to books, or let's expose them to games and play. But with this, I know all these things about phonics and skills and drills. I know how to do those things. When they stall in the reading or in the play or in the game, then I come in with a very targeted strategy to move them on. Right? And I think that approach, it does take a lot of pedagogical skill, but it also takes a calmness with chaos. So if you see the classes that I teach as demonstrations, they look chaotic. And that's not, our disposition as teachers is usually from a position of authority, a position of control. And to actually find some of the really rich, exciting learning, you've got to be comfortable with a little bit of chaos, be able to bring it back so people don't hurt themselves, obviously, in safety, but you've got to then bring it back. And that interaction with them is normally in the form, almost entirely in the form of questioning students. And that's a lost art in teaching, in my opinion. We're very quick to say, do it like this, for this. We take any learning impetus away from the child. Or why did you make the decision? How did you go about doing it? Could have you done something different? These are the pedagogies, and these are the critical thinking skills that underpin 21st century learning. So if our pedagogy actually changes to that, we won't be stuck in this silly argument that we're at the moment trying to justify the inclusion of physical education in a curriculum for share of time. We'll actually be in a space where we go, you know what, if you're looking at critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, why wouldn't you be doing physical education in the schools?